chance to review those. We've got quite a few minutes, January 26, 27, 28, 29, February 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes if you've had a chance to review them? Motion, Senator Gossage, thank you. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move we accept the minutes.
Thank you. And second, Senator Hill. Any discussion on those minutes? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Thank you. Minutes are passed, or approved, sorry. We're going to work 5 bills today. I was going to start with 6 bills. I was going to start with 232, but Senator Fagg's not here yet. There he is. Oh, saved by the door. Senator Fagg, we were going to start with Senate Bill 232, if that's okay. All right. Not to rush it. We'll let you come and have a seat. So, Eileen, do you want to, we've got an amendment on that bill, but did you want to also just give us a quick brief on what it is? It's been a while.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you. Senate Bill 232 is a CAPERS bill. It does a couple of different things. It would allow CAPERS to invest in investments that are bonds, notes, debentures, or other similar obligations of a foreign government that has the International Monetary Fund listed as an industrial company, and for which the full faith and credit of the nation has been pledged for the payment of principal and interest. And then there's ratings requirements that the country must be rated A- or better by Standard & Poor's, A3 or better by Moody's, or an investment in equivalent investment grade by a securities ratings organization accepted by the NAIC. And then the investment would be limited to not more than 5% of the cash available that may be invested.
Okay. Any questions, committee? There is an amendment that the Treasurer's Office brought us. Let's do the amendment first so we don't confuse ourselves, if that's all right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The balloon gives a little bit more specificity to what countries may be invested in and what types of investments. So if you look on the second page of the balloon in subsection D3, the final language is going to read that the Board of Trustees may invest in United States dollar-denominated bonds, notes, debentures, or other similar obligations of a foreign government that the so on and so forth, that have been pledged for the payment of principal and interest so long as such country, we're changing security to country, shall be rated at least A- or better by Standard & Poor's, A3 or better by Moody's. Siri didn't understand. And then we're adding, or A- or better by Fitch Ratings. Or an equivalent investment grade by a securities rating organization accepted by the NAIC. Investments, and then this is an insert of new language, investment shall only be allowed in a country that has never defaulted on short-term or long-term obligations, and then the rest of the language would remain the same.
Committee, do you have any questions regarding this amendment? It's just to tighten up that language a little bit after the discussion that we had in committee when the treasurer was here. Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As I read these amendments, they're covering the things I'd like to have seen. That rating service was a question I had, so I'm glad to see that. So,
any other questions about
that
this?
helps.
Senator Gossage?
Just a quick one, Madam Chair. Does this, I remember that Senator Fagg had a question about countries, and it just says investment shall only be allowed in a country that has never defaulted on short-term or long-term debt obligations. But what about those that are opposed to the U.S.? Seems like Senator Fagg brought that up earlier, if I recall.
I'll let you answer that, Eileen.
Madam Chair, that's already in the current language of the bill. If you look on the second page of the the balloon, line 37, an authoritarian or totalitarian government, the sovereign powers of which are exercised through a single person or group of persons who are not elected by any form of legitimate power, popular voting. Those are the lead-in languages. Under no circumstances shall investments be made in. So that's already there.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
That work for you? Okay. Questions or comment, Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line 35 covers that too, I think. Senator Gossett.
Sponsored terrorism. Very good. There are no more questions regarding the amendment. I would take a motion to approve the amendment. Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move the amendment as presented.
Okay, is there a second? Senator Argabright? Any more discussion on this amendment? Okay, all those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, are there any other amendments on this bill? Okay, if not, I would take a motion, or whatever the will of the committee is, to move the bill out of committee as amended, if that's your desire. Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we move SB 232 as amended favorably.
Okay, for passage. A second, Senator Gossage. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, that will go to the Senate. All right, thank you. I think the next bill, let's look at Senate Bill 55. You want to take that out of your folders? I think you've already got an amendment on your desk. Do you want to review I guess I should ask the committee. Do you want to review the amendment first and then approve the bill, or do you want to, does that work for you? Okay, whatever process works. Eileen, would you like to remind us about this bill, and then we'll look at the amendment?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 55 would prohibit the assignment of benefits under property and casualty insurance and would define that assignment of benefits as an unfair or deceptive trade act or practice.
All right, any questions of that initial bill? Okay, and then is there an amendment? Senator Warren?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So when we last heard this bill, I had raised some concerns about the private right to contract. If you wanted to contract away your right to the, and assign your benefits to an entity, that the bill would prohibit that. So I had a conversation with proponents of the bill, and especially in the commercial property area where you've got a sophisticated post-incident entity, a business, that they could certainly have the wherewithal and the knowledge to determine, do they want to assign these benefits? Do they want to work with that in-house, or exactly what they want to do? So I do have an amendment that would strike the bill from applying to commercial property insurance policies, so that commercial entities could decide whether they wanted to assign the benefit or not. So it doesn't alleviate concerns about homeowners' residential property insurance, but oftentimes, and we did hear testimony that it is the residential property owner that is more susceptible to fraud, to being taken advantage of by unscrupulous entities who are asking them to assign the benefits. So with striking the commercial property, I'm more comfortable with the bill, and I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Committee questions? And I believe that's on the back of this bill, page 8, line.
It's on page 1 of the bill and page 8. So there's a couple strikes on page 1 and a couple on page 8, or 1 on page 8.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, I would take a motion on this amendment. Senator Warren, would you like to move your amendment?
Oh, yes, I moved it, but we haven't had a second yet, I don't think.
I haven't had a motion yet.
Okay.
Do you
So,
want to move your amendment?
well, I moved my amendment.
Okay. Second? Thank you. I didn't hear that. Senator Rose, seconds. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor then of the amendment say aye. Any opposed, no? Okay, thank you. The amendment passes, so we're back on the bill, Senate Bill 55. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended? What's the committee's desire? Senator Gossage?
I move we pass out Senate Bill 55 favorably as amended.
Is there a second? Senator Warren, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no? Okay, bill passes out of committee as amended. Thank you. All right, next, let's take a look at Senate Bill 410. This is the OSBC bill. Eileen, would you want to refresh our memory on this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the bill that would clarify an internal citation to the Kansas Financial Institutions Information Security Act. And then this is also the bill that would add, I have lost my train of thought, adds earned wage, sorry, thank you. Earned wage access service registrants to the list of entities to which the act applies. And I beg your pardon, Madam Chair, it's been a long weekend.
And there are a lot of bills here, I appreciate that. Committee, do you have any questions about this original bill? Okay. Are there any amendments on this bill? Not seeing any. What's the committee's desire on Senate Bill 410? Senator Gossage, do you have any thoughts? Since you're the only one I'm making eye contact with here.
Everyone else is looking down like, oh, this bill, yeah, I don't remember. I move that we pass out Senate Bill 410 favorably, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Rose? Thank you. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Thank you. We'll move that out favorably. Thank you very much. That was one that was hard to even remember, wasn't it? Okay. All right. Moving right along. We are really moving right along. Let's turn our attention to Senate Bill 412. And would you like to remind us about that one? Eileen? Sure, we do have an amendment on that, right? Yes. Mhm. I did, thank you. Senator Warren, did you want to this? Or would you like the revisor?
I'm happy to explain it if we don't need a bill summary again first.
Yes. Do you feel like you need a bill summary? I'm sorry, thank you. Eileen, do you want to just spend half a minute?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Senate Bill 412 that amends the probate code and would impose a new duty upon conservators to notify certain parties of any court order commanding performance or safekeeping of the conservatee's estate assets.
Thank you. Any questions for Eileen? Not, Senator Warren, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So when we last discussed, we heard there was concern from committee that we didn't have any definition of non-parties in subsection M on page 3 of the bill. So I have talked with the Office of State Banking Commissioner and brought a definition. So when you set up a conservatorship, one of the things you do in the court documents is you identify the type and the location and the value of the asset. So that would be already in the court records, and it would then be consistent to have the conservator, who again has that list, to notify, and again, like the amendment says, entities and persons that have been identified as the location of those assets. You might, for instance, be a person who's holding on to some coins or some bars of gold or other assets of the estate that they would need to be notified too. So the amendment is intended to capture all those persons who might have an asset identified in the conservatee's estate. So with that, I would stand for questions.
Questions, committee? Senator Fag?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The only thing that I would question, just for conversation, would there be any kind of timing as to when the conservator would have to notify those entities? Because some of these, just like the one we know about, that happened like the next day. So I don't know how the timing of that plays into that, and it's just for conversation.
Senator Warren?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would say that the bill as brought to us didn't have any time constraints or limits or recommendations or requirements as to the timing of it. So maybe, I mean, oftentimes in law, when you're a conservator, sometimes you have as much as 30 days, but there was no time suggested, so I didn't feel a need to address it in the amendment.
Okay.
But I understand your point.
Senator Gossage, and we do
Yes,
have-
just a question of Eileen. When it says a conservator is a fiduciary and has duties of prudence, loyalty, reasonable care, is that outlined in that section 59-30? I was just thinking in terms of prudence and response to Senator Fagg's question, but I have no problem with the amendment itself.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This actually is a new codification of the probate code. So what you're seeing in 59-30-30, 176 is current law, but I can tell you that the duties of a fiduciary are pretty standard, and those do exist in both court precedent and also in law, I think in the corporation code, maybe? I'm not sure exactly where, but I do know that they're codified. The duty of prudence, though, I think would probably depend on situationally. But we can certainly amend Senator Warren's amendment to add a time frame if that would be the committee's desire.
Committee? How about if we also maybe hear from the OSBC? Brock, would you mind coming forward? The question about time frame, was that something you had considered in the original bill, or is that not necessary, or?
Well, Madam Chair, we'd be more than happy to have a time frame put in there. We just want the conservator to notify the non-parties as to how much time. I would say 15 days, 30 days, that's perfectly fine.
Is that standard?
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the probate world to know if that's standard or not. I would assume that probably is about a reasonable time. Senator Warren?
Senator Warren, what do you think?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and appreciate that, Brock. So you're a conservator, you know, sometimes you're a family member of the conservatee, and, you know, you've taken on the responsibility to manage all this. I don't, you know, 15 days would probably be doable, would probably be consistent. There's different timing requirements for different things, but could probably be pretty consistent and bring some balance to, you know, getting the court order and then to sending it out again. So I'd be open to 15 days.
Eileen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Warren, you're meaning 15 calendar days or 15 business days? For clarification for the amendment.
I think probably 15 calendar days. Because otherwise, if it's 15 business days, it's 3 weeks, and unless someone has a better idea.
I think that's a great question, and I think, you know, that's, 15 calendar days is doable. I've never been a conservator, but there was an issue with this, you know, when the bank wasn't notified, so. So what would you like to do with this? Senator Warren?
Yeah, so I will withdraw my prior motion and a substitute motion to amend the bill with the written amendment as presented and conceptually amend it by inserting a conservator shall, within 15 calendar days, notify entities and persons and the rest of the balloon. Does that make sense?
Elaine might have a thought here.
I think we can go not later than 15 calendar days following the issuance of any court order commanding performance or safekeeping of the conservatee's estate assets. A conservator, so we can flip that entire sentence and say, then a conservator shall notify entities and persons that the conservator has identified as the location of an asset of the conservatee's estate.
See, I knew she'd have good wording for it, so
That's hard to conceptualize, but I get it. And we're on our last day. I don't usually like to do conceptual amendments, but if everybody's in agreement.
I'll second.
Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor say of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Amendment passes. Okay. Back on the bill, Senate Bill 412. Is there a motion to pass this bill out as amended? Senator Gossage?
No, oftentimes we chairs have to look at each other, like, I need some. Yes, Madam Chair, I move that we pass Senate Bill 412 as amended out of committee.
Is there a second? Senator Warren? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no? Good, very good, thank you. All right, next we have, let's look at Senate Bill 422 from the Insurance Department, and I think we do need a quick little refresher on this. And there's an amendment? Okay.
Have him, Eric, that's fine with me.
Eric, would you like to come? This is your amendment from the Department of Insurance based on the discussion we had in committee. Would you like to talk to us about your amendment?
I'd be happy to, Madam Chair. Eric Turek from the Kansas Department of Insurance. This is an amendment born after discussion with industry. On page 4, that is just clean up, or I guess a change that was necessary after discussing with industry. Technically, in the language that we added there was no requirement for us to notify the agents, the non-resident agents, if they were revoked. We see the need to inform the agents who are selling insurance here, though they may live elsewhere. And then on page 7, that second bubble there, because this revocation is based on a technicality that they failed to maintain their license, had nothing to do with their actions in Kansas. We would like the commissioner to have the ability, the permissive ability to allow them to, let me back up a little bit. When agents are revoked, they cannot reapply for licensure for 2 years. So based on a technicality like this, we ask that the commissioner have the ability to waive that prohibition.
Questions, committee? Senator Gossage?
I just want to say I support this amendment. I think it just makes sense. And yes, for those who are licensed in multiple states, you know, if your license has been revoked by your own state, sometimes it's just, oops, I missed one CE credit, or I didn't get that application filled out, or something of that nature. And not that you had an egregious, performed an egregious act. And I like the idea of the commissioner can waive it if it's, you know, they took care of it right away and they don't have to wait. So I'm in favor of this amendment, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. If we're comfortable, do we have a motion then on this amendment? Senator Gossage?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve this amendment on Senate Bill 422.
Okay, second, Senator Fagg. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, amendment passes. Thank you. Okay, we are back on the bill now. Somebody, there are no more amendments, want to make a motion? Senator Fagg?
I was going to do a motion when
Yes,
you're ready.
I'm
Okay.
ready, if you're ready.
I'd move that SB 422 move favorably as amended for passage.
Second, I keep looking, Senator Rose? Senator Hill, you got to raise your hand faster, because I can. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, motion passes. We'll move that bill out. The last bill for today is Senate Bill 472. And
I gotcha.
we're going to need a refresher. We're now getting down to these bills where I don't really remember what that was about.
That was way back on February 11th, Madam Chair.
Like last week.
You know what, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so. Senate Bill 472 is the bill that would authorize the Securities Commissioner to set the amount of certain fees and then would require the Commissioner to publish the amount of the fees in the Kansas Register. This is also the bill that would eliminate the 10% credit to the State General Fund as reimbursement for those certain state-provided services that the Securities Department does not partake of.
Okay, questions, committee? Senator Miller?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eileen, is there a House companion to this bill? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Senator Gossage?
Our revisor left a dangling preposition, but other than that, I have. No, I move that we pass out Senate Bill 472 as presented.
Is there a second? Senator Hill, saw ya. Okay, all right. There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, we will pass that out. Well, our work is done. So we ended with some time left over here. Is there anything, do they want to take their brown folders or leave them here? You can, if you want to take your brown folders with you, you may. Yeah. They're going to be delivered if you don't want to take them. I guess that's my point. It's your choice. So feel free to take them with you if you would like. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We will be on the floor for the next several days. So we've done a lot of great work here in this committee. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your hard work and your attention, and revisers and staff. And after turnaround, we'll be right back here again with House bills. So thank you all very much. Meeting adjourned.